In this video, you will witness how a king from China tries to save his kingdom, which is under attack by thousands of dangerous creatures. These creatures are relentlessly attacking the kingdom, causing havoc. They are incredibly cruel and merciless. Will the king be able to protect his kingdom from these creatures, or will everyone fall victim to them? To find out, watch the full video. The film begins with us seeing that, long ago, on the distant outskirts of China, a band of travelers found themselves relentlessly pursued by Mongolian warriors. Desperate to escape, their leader, William, instructed the group to release their horses, hoping to distract the scavengers and buy them time to flee. As night fell, the group paused to recover from the skirmish. During their brief respite, it was revealed that they were mercenaries on a dangerous quest to obtain the legendary black powder. Their mission had been fraught with peril from the outset, claiming the lives of over 20 men and leaving them with dwindling supplies. Just as they considered abandoning their quest, a monstrous creature emerged from the shadows, attacking with brutal ferocity. The beast wiped out the remainder of the group, sparing only William and his companion, Tovar. When the creature returned for another assault, William managed to strike it down, severing its massive arm. Bewildered by the mysterious creature, the two men decided to leave immediately, realizing their campsite was far from secure. The next morning, they resumed their journey, but their path was quickly blocked by Mongolian warriors who resumed their relentless pursuit. Forced to flee once more, William and Tovar eventually found themselves face to face with the imposing Great Wall of China. A volley of arrows greeted their arrival, narrowly missing them. With no other options, William chose to surrender to the Chinese, hoping they might show mercy, unlike their Mongolian pursuers. Inside the wall, the Chinese commanders were stunned by the massive claw William presented as evidence of his battle. Commander Lin demanded to know where the foreigners had obtained such a thing. When William claimed to have killed the beast himself, his words were met with laughter and skepticism from the Chinese leaders. However, strategist Wang found the story plausible, noting the blood and remnants of the creature on the men's weapons and clothing. Before the commanders could decide the fate of the two strangers, a scout arrived with alarming news. A massive enemy force was advancing toward the wall. General Shao wasted no time, mobilizing the army for battle. William and Tovar were escorted to the top of the wall, where they witnessed an incredible sight: an enormous, well-coordinated army in vibrant armor, each color signifying a unique role within the forces. Among the soldiers, the blue-armored warriors stood out. Led by the formidable Commander Lin, this elite unit was composed entirely of women. The troop moved with precision, taking their positions at the edge of the wall and readying enormous spears for the impending confrontation. The soldiers stood ready, their eyes fixed on the horizon as a wave of green, snarling monsters charged toward the Great Wall. The ground trembled under the weight of the approaching horde. General Shao wasted no time, commanding the artillery units to unleash their devastating firepower. Enormous fireballs soared into the sky, raining down on the creatures below and igniting an inferno in their ranks. Simultaneously, the archers sprang into action, releasing a relentless volley of arrows that darkened the sky. The monsters fell by the dozens, yet they pressed on, undeterred by the carnage. Their roars of rage echoed across the battlefield as they closed the gap, eventually reaching the wall's base despite the storm of arrows cutting through their numbers. The women in blue armor leaped fearlessly from the wall, plunging their massive spears into the beasts with precision. As they struck, their comrades above swiftly pulled them back to safety. Despite their courage and coordinated efforts, the soldiers began to fall. The monsters tore through the ranks with terrifying ferocity, some devouring their victims on the spot. In the distance, the monstrous queen emerged, flanked by an elite guard of towering beasts. Her commanding presence sent a ripple of dread through the defenders. Strategist Wang noticed her arrival and alerted General Shao, who ordered a focused artillery strike aimed directly at the queen. The massive machines fired, but the queen's bodyguards intercepted the attack, shielding her with their massive frames. Enraged, the queen let out a deafening roar that resonated across the battlefield. She rallied her forces with a series of guttural commands, and the monsters adapted their strategy. They began to scale the Great Wall itself, their sheer strength and agility allowing them to ascend the structure with ease. Chaos erupted as the beasts reached the top, tearing through the soldiers with brutal efficiency and hurling them from the heights. Amid the pandemonium, William and Tovar struggled against their restraints, watching the unfolding carnage. To their astonishment, another foreigner, Ballard, appeared and cut their bindings, freeing them just in time. Nearby, a young soldier named Peng witnessed his comrades falling one by one. Summoning all his courage, he charged at one of the towering monsters, his fear giving way to determination. However, the creature swatted him aside effortlessly, sending him crashing to the ground. Before the young soldier can meet his end at the jaws of the monstrous creature, William leaps into action. Grabbing a nearby spear, he charges toward the beast and drives the weapon straight into its gaping mouth. The creature thrashes wildly, throwing William backward with a deafening roar. Undeterred, William regains his footing, and with Tovar's help, they strike again, this time piercing the monster's heart and bringing it down. Tovar then picks up a red cape from the ground, waving it to provoke another monster. The creature barrels toward him like a raging bull, blinded by fury. This distraction gives William the opportunity to fire a precise arrow, striking the beast and taking it down just as it lunges one final time. Realizing the growing losses among her ranks, the queen emits a series of powerful sound waves, commanding the surviving creatures to retreat. The monsters carry away the bodies of their fallen, ensuring that the humans cannot study or learn from them. After the battle, the Chinese commanders approach William and Tovar, who drop their weapons in a gesture of peace. Impressed by their bravery, General Shao commends their efforts and, instead of imprisoning them, offers them quarters within the wall. The young soldier Peng, still shaken but alive, approaches William to express his gratitude for saving his life. William's selfless act inspires the young man, who pledges to fight with greater courage. Soon after, William and Tovar meet Ballard, the foreigner who had freed them earlier. Ballard reveals that he arrived in China 25 years ago in search of the same black powder, but has since been kept as a captive, serving as an English teacher. Ballard takes them to see the mysterious black powder, assuring them there's enough for all three of them to achieve their goals. He proposes a daring plan, to escape during the next siege, using the chaos of battle as their cover. Before they can finalize their plans, strategist Wang summons them urgently. He has discovered a strange magnet among their belongings and theorizes that this object was the key to William's earlier victory. Wang believes the magnet disrupts the creature's neural systems, weakening them significantly. Wang then explains the origins of the beasts, known as Tao Ts. These creatures, he reveals, came to Earth from the stars over 2,000 years ago. Rising every 60 years, they launched devastating attacks from northern China, consuming everything in their path to feed their queen and fuel their reproduction. With the capital city, home to 2 million people, just 300 miles away, the stakes are unimaginably high. If the Tao Ts reach the city and feast on its population, their numbers will grow exponentially, threatening the entire world. Meanwhile, General Shao notices reports of missing soldiers at the Western Towers. Accompanied by Commander Lin, he sets out to investigate the unsettling situation. The soldiers moved into their formations, but a strange sight unsettled them. The monsters had deliberately left behind bodies instead of consuming them as food. Suspicious and alert, the troops advanced cautiously upon spotting one of the creatures ahead. However, General Shao noticed something alarming, a reflection of a second Tao T lurking behind them, ready to launch an ambush. In a sudden onslaught, the two monsters attacked from both directions. General Shao valiantly turned to defend the rear, but his efforts to protect Commander Lin left him gravely wounded. The army arrived moments later, but it was too late to save their leader. With his dying breath, General Shao named Lin as his successor, urging her to lead with caution and never underestimate the cunning intelligence of the Tao Ts. The soldiers solemnly carried their fallen leader back, and a grand funeral was held to honor him. Thousands of glowing lanterns were released into the sky, symbolically lighting General Shao's path to the afterlife. Shortly after the ceremony, Envoy Shen arrived at the wall, bearing records from encounters with the Tao Ts 60 years prior. The documents revealed an intriguing discovery. During the previous battle, the creatures were paralyzed when pursuing soldiers onto a mountain containing a magnetic stone similar to William's. Determined to confirm the magnet's effects on the creatures, William proposed capturing a Tao T alive using a massive hook, similar to whale hunting methods. However, Tovar was openly against the plan, reminding William of their original mission to escape with the black powder. Despite his friend's objections, strategist Wang began preparing. He developed a large quantity of anesthetics, applying it to the hooks in hopes of subduing a captured creature. Before long, the Tao Ts arrived in overwhelming numbers, attempting to breach the wall. The soldiers stood their ground, fighting as one. Gigantic blades extended from the wall sides, slicing through the advancing monsters, while warriors fiercely defended the battlements with unrelenting determination. Under Commander Lin's orders, the harpoons were launched. The enormous hooks sailed through the air, striking many of the beasts and ensnaring them in heavy chains. Despite the chaos, the soldiers fought on, pushing the creatures back and striving to capture one alive for further study. The Tao Ts quickly grasped the human strategy to capture them and began tearing apart the hooks, managing to break free from their restraints, all except one. Meanwhile, Ballard urged Tovar to seize the chaos of the battle as an opportunity to flee the wall. Tovar, however, refused, unwilling to leave William behind. William, torn between escaping and staying to assist, made a crucial decision in the final moment. Instead of abandoning the Chinese army, he rushed to aid the commanders in securing the last captured Tao Ti. To isolate the beast from its companions, the soldiers fired a barrage of explosives around it, creating a fiery perimeter that trapped the creature within. With the chains threatening to give way, William slid down the metal beams and reached the unconscious monster. He worked quickly, tying it securely to ensure it could be retrieved. But as he finished, hostile forces ambushed him, leaving him to fight for survival. Just as things seemed dire, Tovar appeared to save him, scolding William for not sticking to their escape plan. Their heated exchange was cut short as more Tao Ts emerged from the dense fog. The duo, setting aside their argument, worked seamlessly together to take down the attacking creatures, aiming for their vulnerable eyes with pinpoint accuracy. The battle escalated as the monsters broke through the wall of flames and closed in on the two men. Surrounded and outnumbered, they braced for the worst. However, the Chinese army acted swiftly, launching a volley of explosives that obliterated the advancing creatures and rescued William and Tovar from certain doom. The soldiers wasted no time securing the captured Tao Ti, locking it in a massive cage. Strategist Wang led the experiments to test the magnet's effects. As he approached the creature with a magnetic stone, the Tao Ti's frantic movements slowed until it became completely motionless, confirming the magnet's power over the beasts. Envoy Chen, impressed but eager to comply with the emperor's wishes, insisted the creature be transported to the imperial court immediately. Despite Wang's objections, the orders had come directly from the king, leaving no room for debate. After the envoy departed with the captured beast, the soldiers detected unusual activity near the wall's base. Alarmed by the movement, they organized an investigation, descending cautiously to the bottom to uncover what new threat awaited them. To their horror, the soldiers discovered that the Tao Ts had excavated a massive tunnel beneath the base of the wall. The previous battles had been nothing more than clever distractions, designed to mislead the armies and divert their attention. Meanwhile, Ballard and Tovar seized the chaos as an opportunity to steal the coveted black powder and plot their escape. With the soldiers preoccupied investigating the breach, their plan seemed foolproof until William confronted them. He pleaded with Tovar to stay and fight, urging him to recognize the greater cause at stake. Tovar, however, dismissed William's optimism, convinced that the Chinese forces stood no chance against the monstrous horde. Their argument escalated until Ballard took drastic action, knocking William unconscious and urging Tovar to abandon him, insisting it was their only chance to flee. When General Lin learned of the Westerners' betrayal, her fury was swift and severe. Though William protested his innocence, claiming he had tried to stop his companions, Lin was unconvinced. Only Peng's testimony, recounting how William had attempted to thwart the escape, tempered her anger slightly. Nevertheless, she ordered William's imprisonment, ensuring he could not interfere further. Determined to catch up with the advancing Tao Ts, Lin devised a bold plan to use experimental hot air balloons for pursuit. Fueled by black powder, the untested inventions were fraught with risk. Many soldiers lost their lives attempting to ascend into the skies, leaving only a small, brave group to carry on toward the capital. Peng, unwilling to let William languish in a cell, secretly freed him. Rushing outside, William encountered Wang and demanded answers. The strategist revealed the grim reality. The Tao Ts had successfully breached the wall, and the situation was dire. General Lin had already departed with the remaining troops, leading the desperate mission to defend the capital against the advancing horde. With no time to waste, William resolved to join the fight, determined to make a difference despite the overwhelming odds. Wang explains to William that their only hope lies in eliminating the Queen, as her death would render all the Tao Ts powerless. Despite Wang's suggestion to leave, William resolves to pursue Lin, determined to prevent humanity's annihilation. Meanwhile, General Lin reaches the capital, only to find it overrun by the ravenous creatures. She and her soldiers press forward toward the palace, but they are ambushed by swarms of Tao Tis. In the chaos, Lin becomes surrounded by the snarling monsters. Just as it seems she is doomed, William arrives, swooping in to save her. He lifts her into the air and uses grenades to fend off the creatures, clearing a path to the palace. Inside, they retrieve the previously captured Tao Ti. Wang devises a daring plan. The creature will be fitted with bombs and sent toward the queen. The hope is that the explosives will detonate, killing her and disabling the horde. The group navigates through the sewers, preparing to release the bomb-laden Tao Ti. However, their plans go awry as the creatures discover their hiding place. A brutal attack ensues, leaving most of the team dead. Peng, though gravely wounded, decides to sacrifice himself. He detonates grenades to destroy the advancing monsters and block their path, allowing the others to continue. With no time to grieve, Wang quickly unleashes the bomb-laden creature. Once the magnet is removed, the Tao Ti awakens, instinctively grabbing the provided meat and racing toward its queen to feed her. The survivors ascend a tall tower to execute the final phase of their plan. Wang stays at the entrance, magnet in hand, to hold back the horde, while William and Lin climb higher for a clear shot. William fires an arrow at the queen, but her loyal bodyguards intercept it, causing the arrow to explode harmlessly in midair and alerting the monsters to their position. Realizing time is running out, William ascends further to try again. Meanwhile, the queen commands all her minions to attack the tower, sending waves of Tao Tis crashing into the structure. Wang, in a final act of bravery, throws the magnet to William and Lin before being overwhelmed and devoured by the beasts. With only one bomb remaining, William takes another shot. Once again, the arrow is blocked, leaving the queen unharmed. The queen, now aware of her attackers, directs her full fury at them, ordering her minions to swarm the tower. As the Tao Tis close in, William and Lin leap from the windows, swinging on ropes to evade the creatures lunging after them. The monsters claw at the air in a desperate attempt to capture the pair, but the two manage to stay ahead, clinging to the faint hope of stopping the queen once and for all. William hurls the magnet toward the queen's bodyguards, followed closely by Lin's spear. The magnetic interference briefly slows the creatures, giving the bomb enough time to breach their defenses and land inside the barrier. The queen frantically attempts to extinguish the flames, but it's too late. A massive explosion erupts, obliterating everything within and launching the surrounding Tao Tis into the air. As the queen succumbs to the blast, her death triggers the collapse of the entire horde. The creatures become paralyzed, crashing lifelessly to the ground, leaving the palace strewn with their bodies. At long last, humanity claims victory. Sometime later, William returns to the Great Wall and discovers Tovar imprisoned by the Chinese army. He explains to his friend that the emperor offered him a choice, either the black powder or Tovar's life. Without hesitation, William chose to save his companion, realizing that true friendship far outweighs any material wealth. As he rides away into the horizon, accompanied by an escort from the army, General Lin watches from the walls, silently bidding him farewell. William glances back one last time, a faint smile on his face, sensing that his journey to this place is far from over. So, what's your take on this movie? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more recaps. See you all in the next one.